stand on God for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular their bombs bursting in air. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home and the
And good evening, race fans. Welcome to Racing for a Cause here on a Wednesday night, just about 11 minutes to go until we get going here at Thompson Speedway tonight for the COVID Clash 125. And we've got a few gentlemen here in with us that helped put this one on tonight. I was asked to get them in and talk to them about why and what their cause was to help sponsor tonight's race. So we're going to start off in order. AJ Hamel, Chris up in the booth. Do you have a copy? AJ, no, we're gonna go in the order from underneath me, I guess. Al jumped up ahead of me. That was weird, but well, we'll take it. Well, I don't know, bud. So what brings you here tonight? There is a race. Yes, please. I like it. That's yes, sir. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It has been a season now, a season and a half. Awesome, man. Well, thank you very much for helping make tonight happen. AJ, good luck to you. All right, bud. Oh, yeah. He is not. No, I'm going to run solo tonight. Absolutely. Thank you, AJ. Have a good one, bud. That was AJ Hamel, driver of the number 18. Next up on my list is Charles Hayes. Charles, this is Chris up in the booth. You got a copy? I'm doing well, bud. So a lot like what I just asked AJ, what brought you out tonight? What are you sponsoring? What's the cause? All right, awesome. No, that's really cool. So first time out. Have you been watching at all? Are you familiar with the car? What's the situation there?
A few practice races with this group of guys, but I've never have taken part in the official race night.
Very good. Well, we look forward to seeing you out there in that number 12. Charles, make sure you burn up the track, just not the tires.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, buddy. We'll see you in a little bit. And we're going to bring up, next up, Justin Riggsbee, car number 99. Justin, no stranger. What's going on tonight, bud?
Hey, Chris, how's it going?
It's going really, really well. I'm looking for you out there on track. There you are, third fastest so far. So, Justin, what do we got going on here tonight? I see a different paint scheme out there. What's up with that?
Well, this is a paint scheme we like to run a few different other nights of the week. Unfortunately, due to this pandemic going on, we had a little bit of trouble at the shop getting the wrap back on here for tonight with the Star Legacy Foundation. But nonetheless, we're still out here representing them. Anybody that's tuned in, I'm sure, remembers that nice purple, starry-looking car. It's hard to miss. We'll definitely have it back next week. But glad we could get some guys together to put a show on here and allow you to come in and broadcast it and bring some more awareness.
No, it's awesome, bud. I really appreciate it, and a good cause too. Go out and check out Justin's cause. And Justin, good luck to you tonight, bud.
Thank you.
Burn that thing up, man. I want to see a good finish out of you tonight.
We'll give it a go.
All right, pal. And up next is going to be Matthew Spinks, car number 35. What's going on, bud?
How you doing, sir?
Doing awesome, man. So your paint scheme, it doesn't change. I don't care if it's the child that's racing the midget or this car here. It's always the same yellow and red, and I know it so well, but no cause on there. So what's bringing you out here tonight, Matt?
We actually have the Heart Foundation. It's on the back of the car. That's the cause we run.
Okay. Yeah. There it is. Heart Foundation. You're absolutely right. Perfect, man. So anything else you want to say about them?
Now we just run out for lost a buddy of mine to heart failure and heart disease, and that's the reason I run that sponsor.
Awesome, bud. And I know that you had a kid racing this past Saturday night. It's going to happen again this week?
More than likely.
Excellent. I can't wait to call that. I had so much fun. Man, it was a real blast, and I hope you have fun here tonight at Thompson.
Thank you, sir.
All right, buddy. Matthew Spinks, driver of the number 35. I had to bring AJ Hamel back up into the room because AJ, guess what? I may have had you muted the last time I spoke with you. So I wanted to make sure I got you in. And, of course, I already know everything that you're going to tell me, but go ahead and just redo it. Recap us. After you get back in the pits.
Oh, I got Chris talking to me here. What is he talking about? All right, we're good now.
Okay.
What do we do? Oh, we got the ADA back on the car this week because we got the Wales on a race later in the year. We'll talk about them when we get to New Hampshire. What were you talking about? You had family, yeah. So diabetes, family issue. A lot of people have, of course. Big issue for everybody. So it's the first sponsor I had when I joined RFC almost 3 years ago, if you can believe it was that long ago.
I can, because I remember starting the damn thing. Yeah.
Yep, 3 years ago this coming summer. And
Awesome.
thought I'd bring it back out. We freshened the car up a little bit. I put a Chevy on there for Rick, but he's not here, so he'll just have to enjoy it from home.
And I'm sure he will at some point or another, AJ. I want to thank you again for coming back up and redoing.
Oh, well, I got to re-congratulate the Hammond family.
Oh,
And
yes.
then,
Yes, you do.
you can let me go.
All right, brother. Have a good one out there.
I see ya.
And finally, not least, but finally, Mr. Al Smith Jr., a member here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. Al, what's going on tonight?
Not too much. How are you tonight?
Doing pretty well, bud. How's that 96 feeling out there?
To be perfectly honest with you, not very good. This is probably one of my least favorite tracks, and probably the results will show why tonight. But anywho, we're here, looking to have a good time.
Awesome. And what is it that you are sponsoring tonight?
Well, we're sponsoring, hopefully everybody will listen to the guidelines, the COVID. There's nothing to really take for light or whatnot. It's pretty bad in my state of New York, and seems like it's starting to creep up everywhere else. So just trying to bring some entertainment to everybody that's out there watching, and put a little smile on their face or whatnot, as we like to have a little bit of fun here on a Wednesday night in a super late model. But my main cause is O-Search, which they do shark tracking, whales, and research like that on the marine life side of things. And I am a huge nerd on sharks, so I like to throw them on there. And I got the Super Late Model magazine on board here tonight as well at Thompson.
That's pretty awesome. I'm not going to even say not. I dig it a lot. So you said you don't like this track, but do you have a chance? I mean, you got to have a chance, right?
I got to start 13th, so I'm starting on the inside, which is probably not the place to be on the start of the race. The outside line, I think, is going to be pretty dominant, and it's pretty much got to be patiently aggressive. If that, I know that doesn't sound very good, but it's kind of what you got to do to get around here. You got to try to force someone into a mistake, or maybe even try to put them into a mistake. If you can do it cleanly, so you don't get caught up in that and get sent to the rear. So it's just going to be one of those races. We're going to see what we got, and hopefully we can go forward a little bit. But yeah, it's not one of my favorite tracks. I'm not very good here. So hopefully we can get this number 96 maybe inside the top 10. We only got to go 3 spots, and I think that'll be a very good finish for us here tonight. So we'll take this one and we'll move on to next week.
Yeah, I think that should be all right, bud. Just get her done. That's all you really have to do, right?
That's right. I'm going to come home either on the wrecker or with the steering wheel. I guess it's both the same, but we'll get it figured out, and hopefully not spend too much money on body parts.
All right, on. All right, buddy. Well, you get out there and have some fun, and I'm going to take over up here in the booth.
All right, you guys have a good one. Thanks for watching, everybody out there on the Turn 3 Racing Network, and we'll hopefully put on a good show here tonight.
Absolutely. And thank you once again, Al Smith, Jr., driver of the 96. And tonight we got about 45 seconds to go before we get going. Fast car here in practice, the number 11, and that's Brian Hacker. And I'm trying to set something up here, and you already kind of caught a quick glimpse of it, folks, but here it is. The reason why Rick Hammond is not with me here tonight, I'm going to put it right there. I'm not going to say name. I'm not going to say anything more, but there's the little man right there. Finally came home today after being in the hospital a little bit longer than they wanted to be, but he is home. Baby Hammond is home. Cute as a button. And congratulations going out to my brother and his wife, Rick and Jody Hammond, for bringing home their 3rd bundle of joy as we get ready to go here for the COVID Clash 125. And let's see what we got. Thompson International Speedway is the site. Getting ready to roll. Half a mile this track, so a little bit bigger than some of these short tracks we've been on lately as we get ready to grit them up. On the pole for tonight's event, the number 85 of Jeffrey Styles, and to his outside, the number, well, we're going to say it's the 51, even though it's showing up as the 66. It's Dylan Blankenship. Starting on the inside of row number 2, the 99 of Justin Riggsbee, and to his outside, it's going to be Jeff Dillon. James Somke inside on row number 3. Matt Vade sitting on the outside of that row number 3. And my overlay just crashed, so we're going to just go with it and have fun here tonight, guys, because that's what it's all about. We'll bring that back up, and we'll get ready to go back to the green flag, or to the green flag for the first time. A lot of nice looking cars out there representing, racing for a cause, getting ready to do battle here at Thompson. All right, let's get it going here, guys. Going into turn number 3, pace car lights are off, and we are back in action here once again on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Thank you for stopping by on a Wednesday night as we go green. Dylan Blankenship rushes out to the front. Blankenship has a nice solid lead right now over the 85 of Jeffrey Stiles. Coming out of turn number 4 for the first time tonight, and Blankenship's got the lead. Stiles and Jeff Dillon in third. Fourth belongs to the 99 of Riggsbee. Vader sitting in 5th spot. Somke still sitting there in 6th spot, but watch that number 11. He's going to try and work his way through the field. Brian Hacker, last season's champion, trying to get back up towards the top. Didn't even have a chance to look at points yet. We'll do that if we have a caution. Mark Fravert in the 44 sitting in 8th position. Zach Coldbeer-Coyer sitting in 9th, and James McIntyre Jr. 10th. Oh, we got one going around. It's Vader in the 8th. May have had a little bit of help there. Let's go back and see if we can't figure out what happened. Oh, Vader goes down on the apron, slows himself way up. The 1 of Somke comes down underneath and pushes up. I think he got tight, went up into the 8, and around he went. Vader moving towards the back of the field. Oh no, Andy Lambert was down a little too low. Vader comes around and smacks him a little bit. So that's a shame. Well, I said we were going to do it. Let's take a look at the points as they sit coming into tonight. AJ Rogers, no surprise here. He has been very consistent all season long. AJ Rogers is your points leader. Jeff Dillon, Zach Coyer round out the top 3. Al Smith Jr. having a strong showing this season, sitting in 4th spot. Andy Lambert in 5th. Vader, the number 8 that just got spun, sitting in 6th spot. Brian Hacker, last season's champion, sitting in 7th. Justin Riggsbee, AJ Hamel, and James Somke rounding out the top 10. And that is the points coming into tonight's race. So a little bit of early action here from Thompson. And it's going to change the field up just a little bit. The 8 car, Matt Vade. He's up front, but I think he's got to go around the pace car or fall back to the end of the field. The pace car, I don't know. I don't think the field passed him, so I think he's got to go around. But he's enjoying that clean air off from the Ford Mustang. Got a lot of drivers out there tonight. 22 showed up for tonight's event, including that guy right there, the 45 of Doug Wasaki. Good to see you out there, Doug. Hope everything's going well for you. There's another guy we haven't seen out here this season, Troy Radford in the 94. Kicking that Turn 3 Racing Network car out there. I do like to see that. Pace car lights are off, getting ready to get back into the throttle here from Thompson. We've got 8 laps done of 125 here at Thompson. And look at this, 4th spot belongs to Brian Hacker. I told you guys he is going to move up and he's going to do it quick. Brian Hacker, very, very quick driver. Don't count out Zach Coyer right behind him in the 15. And of course, Matthew Spinks sits behind them in the 35. Pace car drops down, running out of turn number 4. Gonna get it going again. Dylan Blankenship with an incredibly good restart there. And the 66 is rolling. The 52 on the outside. Jeff Dillon trying to make the backstretch work to the outside. Here comes Brian Hacker. Hacker to the outside of Riggsbee. They're side by side coming out of turn 4. Riggsbee trying to fend off, can't do it. Hacker makes the pass to 3rd. Here comes Zach Coyer in the 15. That outside lane seems to have the momentum right now as Zach Coyer moves up to 4th spot. Justin Riggsbee back down to 5th. The 44, Mark Fravert's trying to make headway. Chris Stump up to 7th spot in the 98. And Matthew Spinks cracks into the top 10, currently running in 8th spot. AJ Hamel, we talked to both of those two drivers, Spinks and Hamel, before this one. May get 3 in a row because Al Smith Jr. is a part of that. 3 out of the 5 sponsors getting it on right now, nose to tail on track. Up front, it's still Dylan Blankenship leading the way, and Jeff Dillon in the 52 running 2nd. Brian Hacker hard on the brakes going into turn 3. Running that center lane, peaks down just a little bit, coming out of 4. Blankenship gets into the wall, coming out, loses a bunch of time on track. Dylan Blankenship just tapped the wall very, very lightly, and the 52 and 11 were able to get to his back door. Now coming out of turn 4 once again, here comes Blankenship, Jeff Dillon, and Brian Hacker. 0.3 of a second between those 3 cars, and here comes Zach Coyer getting ready to do some battling. Zach Coyer started this season off very, very strong. Struggled as of late, but looking to try and turn that momentum around. Matt Vade, unfortunately, has put the 8 car up into the hauler, getting ready for next week. So the Vader not finishing here tonight. Chris Stump sitting in 7th spot in his 98, looking hard to try and find a way around the 44. Goes up high, tries to make that backstretch work, closes in bumper to bumper, going into 3. And the 44, Fravert, holds on strong. Matthew Spinks watching everything happening in front of him. I don't know if those fans were practicing social distancing or not, but certainly these guys in the grandstands are not. Down that fast backstretch goes Dylan Blankenship, and he has led every single lap so far. Currently a count of 17 laps, but Jeff Dillon and Brian Hacker are still trying to close in. 0.2 of a second separating those 3 cars. .52 may have gone a little tight coming out of turn 2, went up high. And the 11 right on the back door. Brian Hacker is trying to find a way around. And we have gone, guys, we've gone dark. Give me 1 second. We're going to figure this out for you. So sorry about that. Not sure exactly what happened, but we got it back. The 66 up front, 52 and 11 in second and third. Zach Coyer helping to close the gap. Then you got to go a little bit back to find Riggsbee in the 99. Mark Frabbert holding on to that 6th spot. Chris Stump has been unable to get around so far. Matthew Spinks out there in 8th spot. AJ Hamel, Al Smith Jr. rounding out the top 10. James McIntyre Jr. in the 81 sitting in 11th spot. AJ Rogers, your points leader coming into tonight's race, still sits in 12th spot. Travis Wright sits 13th in his number 10. And Troy Radford up to 14th spot. Charles Hayes, his first race here with Racing for a Cause on a Wednesday night, sitting pretty good here in the top 15 in that number 12 car. Behind him, it's Jeffrey Stiles. Stiles takes it down to the inside. This for 15th spot. Jeff Stiles holding on that inside, makes it work. The 12 comes way down. Not the preferred line coming out of 1 and 2, but making it work is Charles Hayes. James Somke sitting in 17th spot. Andy Lambert at admin here on a Wednesday night. Lambert having some blinking concerns. Brandon Medford, haven't seen him out there since, I believe, race number 1, sitting in 19th spot. I think he's the brother of Chris Medford, longtime Racing for a Cause member. The 45, Doug Wasaki, one of my favorite guys out there on track. Just a true gentleman. And Michael Frabbert is bringing up the rear, 1 lap down now, sitting in 21st spot as the field starts rolling by him. The 66 on your screen, the 51 in scoring. Dylan Blankenship is your race leader. He has led every single lap so far, 27 of them, getting ready to make it 28 as we start lap number 29. And this is where I start missing Rick, guys, because I'm getting out of breath here. Dylan Blankenship has led every lap so far. Jeff Dillon, Brian Hacker, 2nd and 3rd. We've had 1 caution here tonight, very quick caution happening on lap number 2. It involved Matt Vader, and unfortunately he was unable to continue. The Vader has put it in the hauler. Forced to watch the rest of this one from the infield. Chris Stump finally able to find his way around Frabbert, and Matt Spinks was able to get around AJ Hamel. Now Spinks sets his sights on the 44 of Frabbert. Down to the inside goes to the 35. The 18 follows. A good run out of the corner for the 18. The 35 a little slow coming out, but the 35 makes that pass happen, gets him up to 7th spot. Here comes AJ Hamel in the 18. Al Smith Jr., who is not happy about having a race here tonight, doing a good job so far. Al sitting in 9th position. McIntyre right behind him now as he gets around, and so does AJ Rogers. Frabbert going the wrong way in the 44. Of course, AJ Rogers, like I said, your points leader coming into tonight's race. But all eyes on Blankenship as he is rocketing around this track. He has found something in this setup on this track at this time that is working better than anybody else. Speaking of the track, right now, the track temperature 78 degrees, so nice cool night here in Thompson. Air temperature 71. Man, I would take that in a heartbeat. Half-mile track, going to be 66 miles when we're all said and done. Ooh, Blankenship with a huge blink there. And that could really mess things up for him. Hopefully his connection goes stable. If you're out there in chat, I would like to say thank you very much for coming out to the Turn 3 Racing Network here on Wednesday night. You're watching Racing for a Cause Super Late Model Series, and we're doing the COVID Clash 125 here at Thompson International Speedway. in the northeast, from my neck of the woods. Zach Cold Beer Coyer sitting in 4th spot, just kind of cruising around, maybe saving some equipment for a late run. You see those brake rotors just starting to glow as he comes off from them. By the end of the backstretch, they're still glowing. Cold Beer just pushing that car. He says, forget waiting. We're going, boys. Dylan Blankenship still leading the way here in his 66-51 on the scoreboard, though, as Dylan is really just taking advantage of that lead position. You see a little damage to that right front, though. Hopefully that won't affect him in the long run. Feels really starting to separate out now. Coming out of turn 4, Matthew Spinks sitting in 7th spot. AJ Hamel, Al Smith Jr. James McIntyre rounding out the top 10. AJ Rogers just outside of it. Your points leader sits in 11th spot right now. Very crafty race car driver, though, is that AJ Rogers. I wouldn't count him out of it. Not yet. A good run out of Troy Radford, who doesn't run these cars very often, but right now has moved his way up to 14th position in the 94. And I gotta say again, that's a really nice looking paint job out of the 94. I especially like the rear quarter panels. I don't know why. I can probably come up with a reason or two. Aerial coverage tonight provided by us here at Turn 3 Racing Network, trying to keep all the action in a screenshot for you. Dylan Blankenship starting to get to the back bumper of Doug Wasaki, the 45 just ahead of him. Would put Wasaki 1 lap down. So far, only one driver 1 lap down. That's Michael Fravert in his number 36. But Dylan Blankenship starting to catch him. And with that, Jeff Dillon is starting to take a different line around this track. Watch out for that. Dylan searching around, trying to find a way to get around. Meanwhile, Dylan Blankenship gets around the 45. Doug Wasaki kind of just lets him go. That's one of the beautiful things about Doug. Oh, the 12 gets into the wall just in front of the leader, cuts back down in front of the leader, then moves down to the inside. So Blankenship had a little bit of a challenge there to navigate through that one. Next one on his hit list, Brandon Mefford in the 5. 66, your race leader, trying to put the 5 of Brandon Mefford down 1 lap. Jeff Dillon still sitting in 2nd. Brian Hacker 3rd. Cold Beer Coyer in 4th spot. Justin Riggsbee in the 99 in 5th. Two drivers now down 1 lap apiece. Charles Hayes, unfortunately, for his first time out, fall 2 laps down and decides to pull it down pit road. Gonna call it a night here. So Blankenship with some fresh racetrack in front of him, dropping the hammer down the back stretch, going into turns 3 and 4 once again. Man, he's had a pretty flawless night here, except for that damage to the right front. That happened early on in the race. Blankenship starting to get close to Andy Lambert to try and put Lambert down a lap. Lambert has some pretty serious blinking issues going on tonight, we've been seeing. Jeff Dillon about half a second behind the 66 of Blankenship. And Brian Hacker is about 9/10 of a second behind the leader. Zach Cold Beer Coyer 1.3 seconds behind the leader in 4th spot. And then you got to go back another 1.5 seconds to find Justin Riggsbee from the leader. So these guys definitely are separating out. Chris Stump sitting in 6th spot, trying to catch the back door of Justin Riggsbee. He's got some work to do there. And Matthew Spinks sitting in 7th spot. Well, he's about 4 seconds away from the leader right now, 4.1. So all these times are definitely not overwhelming. And in fact, a quick caution here would gather the field all up again. And I want to thank everybody for coming out to the Turn 3 Racing Network on a Wednesday night. During these times, it's not like we have a lot of other stuff going on. Andy Lambert, another big blink, and this one cost him the lead lap as he goes down a lap, and Andy may be pulling it in. Yeah, he is pulling it in. I'm going to bring him on up here real quick. Andy Lambert, Chris, up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
All right, bud. I've been seeing it all night long. Some wicked blinking going on out of that number 72. What's going on over there? You melting it down?
I think the neighborhood's melting it down with everybody being at home.
Oh, that's definitely a possibility. That's too bad. The 72, didn't have the qualifying effort that you were looking for, and really didn't feel like you had a good grip on the track. Was it the car? Was it the track? Was it a combination of the two?
I think I was okay during the warm-up. My time wasn't great, but I joined the session late, so I figured it'd be all right. But with the connection issues, the guys were telling me I was blinking, so I gave myself an EOL at the beginning. And with the leaders coming up on me, I just decided to just get out of the way and park it. It's the best thing to do. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I would recommend a quick modem reboot, as it's not just affecting the iRacing, it's also affecting you in TeamSpeak. I just heard it. So you definitely got an issue over there on the connection side, bud.
All right,
Andy Lambert.
Mechanical failure.
Yes, sir. Mechanical failure. Driver of the number 72, Andy Lambert, unfortunately, going to call it a night, and that puts 3 drivers out of this race for the night. And there are other drivers having issues out there right now, too. Troy Radford not even showing up on screen. The 81 now blinking. So there's some rough stuff happening out there. And certainly with a lot more people home, well, there's a lot more internet being used up. And that can definitely be a cause here. You had Troy Radford just lost connection to TeamSpeak, which just doesn't take a lot of bandwidth at all to be on. So if he's dropping out of that, he's got issues. The 51, well, the 66 on your screen, Dylan Blankenship still your race leader. The 11 of Brian Hacker, second. Jeff Dillon, third. So Hacker able to get around Dillon. And now has his sight set on the race leader, but he's got a little bit of ground to make up, about a half a second. Chris Stump sitting in 5th spot. Matthew Spinks up to 6th. AJ Hamel 7th. Justin Riggsbee in 8th. Al Smith Jr. running the top 10 in 9th position. James McIntyre Jr. right behind him. Ooh, Al Smith and McIntyre going around Riggsbee. Riggsbee had a big wiggle and had to let off. So Blankenship actually finding some more speed here as he's starting to pull away from Hacker. Hacker now 0.75 away from your race leader. Oh, Hacker may be getting a little tight from having to work so hard to get around Jeff Dillon. Troy Radford was able to rejoin the server, but being shown 8 laps down, coming back out onto the race surface. So that's a real shame for Troy Radford. He had a good run going. Al Smith Jr. trying to figure out a way around AJ Hamel in the white 18. Smith is right there, putting some pressure on the back bumper of the 18 is the 96. But this track, very, very tough to pass on. You really have one good lane, and it's not really the bottom lane. It's not really the top lane, especially after the rubber's been put down like it has so far here at Thompson. It's kind of that middle lane. And the 18 knows that he's defending well. Cuts down out of 4. Down the front stretch. Oh, Al Smith comes out of 4 a little bit wrong and loses a position out of it. McIntyre Jr. able to get around. Check in on the race for the lead. And Brian Hacker. Something happened to this. Oh, I missed it completely. We have a new race leader, and it is Brian Hacker. Jeff Dillon was able to move up, and Dylan Blankenship falls to 3rd spot. Not sure what happened there to Blankenship, but we do have a new race leader. It's the 11 of Brian Hacker. Oh, Hacker gets into the inside of Somke. Somke goes around, and we have caution on track. James Somke looking the wrong way on the track. We're going to go back and find out what happened, but this could change everything. Somke coming across the start finish line in turns 1 and 2. Brian Hacker. This was the previous lap. Hacker drops down, and Somke was trying to cut the corner, comes down into Hacker, and the one goes around. Under caution, we're going to take a quick side-by-side, guys. We're going to be right back. Back live, pace car lights are off. Cars are lining up 2 by 2, getting ready to go back under the green flag, and this race has changed. Getting ready to go back green under lap 85 when we take the green. Brian Hacker, your race leader. Jeff Dillon to his outside. And it's Dylan Blankenship on the inside of row number 2. Zach Coldbeer-Coyer on the outside. Chris Stump and Matthew Spinks rounding out the top 3 rows. Pace car down, waiting for Brian Hacker to send him on his way, and he hits the go pedal. We are back under the green flag. Great restart for Brian Hacker, who clears the field, and here comes Dylan Blankenship. The outside, though, too much, as Jeff Dillon and Zach Coyer rounding out. Oh, Zach Coyer may have been touched. He's going around into the infield grass. Still under the green as Zach Coyer falls. Oh, we got a big one going on. And that's Al Smith Jr. We're going to go for a ride with his number 96. Oh, no, we're staying under green. All right. Well, before this race started, Al was saying he didn't like this track, and I think I know why now, Mr. Smith. Brian Hacker, still your race leader. Jeff Dillon, Dylan Blankenship, your top 3. Chris Stump up to 4th. AJ Hamel and Matthew Spinks, your top 6. The cream starting to rise to the top here. Racing for a Cause on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Brian Hacker, last season's champion, starting to open up a little bit of a lead now. 0.3 of a second going into turn number 3. 0.3 of a second at the line. Jeff Dillon in the 52 came to race tonight as he is starting to close the gap. 0.2 now going into turns 3 and 4. The 52 definitely feeling racy. Oh, gets into the wall a little bit. That's going to slow him up. We'll see how it looks here going into turn number 3. Gap 0.25 as they head into turn 3. And Jeff Dillon just came off from 4 that last lap. A little rough. Got the right side into the wall. Able to hold on, though, and continues his march. Chris Stump sitting in 4th spot ahead of AJ Hamel. Matthew Spinks trying to make it happen. He closes up the gap on AJ Hamel coming out of 4, but AJ able to stretch it back out on that front stretch. Now to the back stretch, the 18 goes, and what a good run off from turn 2 with the 18 as he opens up a 0.2 of a second lead over the 35 on that back stretch. The 35 seems to be getting around the corners a little bit better. AJ Hamel in the 18 definitely has the power under the hood for those front stretch and back stretches. Top 15 drivers on the lead lap. Last guy on the lead lap, Al Smith Jr. in the 96, who's trying to recover still from going around. This time by will start lap number 95 for Brian Hacker. Half a mile track here, 31 laps to go. So 15.5 miles if my math isn't failing me. Sometimes it does. Chris Stump starting to catch the back bumper of the 66 of Dylan Blankenship. Oh, Chris Stump is very, very good at these short tracks. Just hasn't been out here a lot this season. The 98, though, starting to remember how to get around these tracks, and once he remembers, oh boy, that could be dangerous for the rest of the field. AJ Hamel still being followed by Matthew Spinks. Spinks being followed by McIntyre Jr. Those 3 cars put him under a blanket as Travis Wright and Justin Riggsbee having a battle for 8th spot. Jeffrey Stiles sitting in 10th position to round that out. And Zach Coldbeer-Coyer just outside of that top 10 in 11th position as we are under caution. It's Dylan Blankenship. Dylan goes around. We're going to find out what happened there. So Dylan had Chris Stump right behind him. I believe it happened between 3 and 4. Stump goes down into the inside. Oh, just not enough room. Blankenship starts coming down. I don't think he realized the run that Stump had. So those two cars make contact, and under caution we are once more. Again, I want to say congratulations to my good friend, my brother Rick Hammond, and his wife Jody for bringing home their baby today. It's his first day home. Hope you guys are able to get some rest. Just nothing like bringing a fresh baby home. Been almost 14 years since we've done that in this house. One more time around the track, caution, or the caution lights will shut off along with the pace car lights to get these guys back under the green flag. Dylan Blankenship coming back out onto the racing surface. He's one lap down. Big news out of the Chris Stump camp. Looks like he is taking the blame for that caution. Chris Stump takes the EOL to the end of the line. So now Stump sitting in 14th position. That's going to move the field all kinds of around. As Brian Hacker, Jeff Dillon, and AJ Hamel, your top three. Matthew Spinks has moved up to 4th spot. James McIntyre Jr. rounding out the top 5. Travis Wright, who's been silently working his way through the field, sits in 6th position. Pace car is off. Brian Hacker hits that loud pedal one more time. Back under the green flag. Starting lap 104 of 125. Brian Hacker with a good start. Oh, Matthew Spinks with a horrible restart. Goes way high. Loses a bunch of positions. And he's to the outside. Riggsbee to his inside. And Spinks is going to be able to defend to the outside. Riggsbee falls back in line. Matthew Spinks stuck to the outside. Oh, Justin Riggsbee goes around. Cautions, breeding cautions one more time, and whoa, does he go around up and over? Does Riggsbee? We're going to go back, take a peek. Hit the wrong button there, guys. Look at this. Oh, man. Riggsbee just becomes a ping pong out there, ending with Stump and Mefford flipping him over. Stump with a side impact blasted that 99 up and over, and the damage is evident there. Let's take a peek. Oh yeah, ran out of room. There's only so much racing room there, and that's what started the whole thing. because then we had some cars backing up, checking up, trying to get around. Eminem, good night to you. 19 laps to go. This one's going to be done here before too long. But these cautions breeding cautions, man, oh man. So Brian Hacker, still your race leader. And after they cross the start finish line, going to be 17 laps to go. Caution light still on the pace car. So it'll be about 15 laps to go when we go back under the green flag. Brian Hacker poised to try and win another one. Top 5 positions have changed. It's Brian Hacker, Jeff Dillon, AJ Hamel, Travis Wright, James McIntyre Jr., then Matt Spinks sitting in 6th spot, Zach Coyer in 7th, Mark Fravert 8th, Jeffrey Stiles and AJ Rogers your top 10. Al Smith Jr. bouncing back pretty good, sitting in 11th position. Doug Wasaki on the lead lap, sitting in 12th. Michael Fravert on the lead lap, 13th. Dylan Blankenship and Justin Riggsbee 14th and 15th. Chris Stump in 16th position. Brandon Mefford in the 5 car, 1 lap down. The first car, 1 lap down. James Somke in the 1 is 1 lap down. And unfortunately for Troy Radford, had a big time disconnect and being shown 9 laps down still, but on track, 19th position. Andy Lambert, Charles Hayes, Matt Vade not going to finish this one on the hauler already. Pace car drops down. Cars are lining up, and Brian Hacker doesn't waste much time. Oh, the 18 gets loose off the restart. Spun his tires. Wicked restart. Still under the green flag. Brian Hacker, Jeff Dillon, and caution comes out. AJ Hamel. I think he spun his tires. We're going to have to go back and take a peek. It happened right on the restart. AJ Hamel was to the back bumper of the 11. AJ puts the power down and just spins the tires and then gets into the 81. Cold Beer Coyer gets involved in it. And everybody else quickly hitting the steering wheel, trying to get around it. And AJ Hamel sitting on pit road. So 13 laps to go. We're under caution one more time. This one not done yet. Don't go anywhere, because we have yet to decide the finishing order of this race. Top 5 drivers: Brian Hacker, Jeff Dillon, Travis Wright, James McIntyre Jr., and Matthew Spinks. Al Smith Jr. has moved himself up in the 6th spot. Mark Fravert sitting in 7th. Michael Fravert in 8th position. At one time, 1 lap down, so Michael doing a great job here in the 36. Jeffrey Stiles in the 85, sitting in 9th spot. Dylan Blankenship, who led 75 laps of this event, is rounding out the top 10 in 10th spot. Chris Stump up to 11th. Riggsbee, AJ Rogers, Zach Coyer, and Brandon Mefford, James Somke rounding out the guys on the lead lap up to 16th spot. Doug Wasaki down 1 lap. AJ Rogers sitting on pit road, as is Wasaki. Not where you want to be when there's only 12 laps to go. Here under caution one more time. It was a clean race. The first 3/4 of this race very clean, and then all of a sudden cautions start coming out of nowhere. 5 cautions now for 23 laps. 24 make it, and only 1 lead change between Blankenship and Hacker. Hacker, your current race leader, in his number 11. That time by, the flagman had both hands out in the air, all fingers stretched out, indicating 10 laps to go. As we're still working caution. Pace car shuts the lights down. Cars start folding in 2 by 2. Little less than a half a mile to go before we fall back under the green flag. And we're going to do it with 8 laps to go when they take the green. Brian Hacker, your race leader. He has been looking strong here tonight, but Jeff Dillon in the 52 has also been looking strong. And they fold back into single file. Due to the number of cautions, it's going to be a single file restart. A huge advantage this late in the race for the 11, and he hits the gas pedal. We are going back under the green. Brian Hacker leading the way down the back stretch and into turns 3 and 4. When he goes over the start finish line, it's going to be 7 laps to go. 3.5 miles here at Thompson. Big gap between second place Jeff Dillon, third place Travis Wright trying to figure out a way to catch him. James McIntyre Jr. in 4th spot has a mirror full of red and yellow. That's Spinks. Matt Spinks trying to crack into that top 4. Brian Hacker right now with a 0.2 of a second lead over Jeff Dillon. The battle is sitting here for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Travis Wright sitting in 3rd spot in his number 10. Takes a huge blink. Oh, that was McIntyre. Excuse me. McIntyre with a huge blink. The number 81. One handful of fingers outstretched. Less one. It's 4 laps to go as Hacker heads down the backstretch. Jeff Dillon, if he's got anything, he's got to start showing it now. Jeff Dillon in the 52, sitting in 2nd spot. 1st and 2nd, starting to spread the field out just a little bit. Brian Hacker down the backstretch, trying to conserve those tires for these final few laps. And Brian Hacker now into turns 3 and 4. On the front stretch, Brian Hacker leading the way in his number 11 into turns 1 and 2. Jeff Dillon trying to make something happen. Can't do it through that corner. Down the back stretch they go into turns 3 and 4 now. White flag in the air. One more time for Brian Hacker as he is racing out of the front of the car and out of the rear view mirror. The 11 goes up a little bit higher than normal, and Jeff Dillon tries the inside. Can't do it. Brian Hacker, your race winner. Jeff Dillon 2nd, Travis Wright in 3rd. James McIntyre Jr. and Matthew Spinks, your top 5. So a very clean starting race ends up with a handful of cautions as the 11 looks to start getting ready to burn it down just a little bit, maybe, or maybe not. Looks like top 3 are just going to line up, so we're going to get ready for some post-race interviews. And let's see if we can get him in here. Travis Wright, this is Chris up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got
Well, bud, a third place finish. A little bit of a banged up right front out of that 10 car, but you can't be upset with the way this one finished.
No, I'm probably the luckiest driver in the race tonight. I just was able to avoid a lot of wrecks in front of me and try to keep it somewhat straight as possible after that.
Well, it looked good out there. Towards the end, quite a few cautions and probably helped you with the finish a little bit. Why don't you take me through your race through your perspective?
I started on the inside a few times. I kind of got pushed around a little bit. I got into the 17. I think I damaged him pretty good, about as much as me. Felt bad about that. Just trying to get to the top, and then it was just getting lucky, picking the right holes, making it through those wrecks.
Well, good job done on that 10. Anybody there that you need to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my fellow teammates that race with me here at RFC, the Vader and Zach Coyer.
Oh, no, your teammates with the cold beer Coyer, huh?
Yeah, man.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on that third place finish. We hope to see you again next week.
Yep, 10-4. Thank you.
Travis Wright, driver of the number 10, bringing it home in third spot. In second spot tonight, we have got Jeff Dillon, driver of the number 52. Jeff, this is Chris up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
10-4, I got you.
Well, bud, you were all over the place here tonight. You looked strong all night long. The 52 was dialed in. What did you need to try and win this race?
I think the biggest thing is just not to make that mistake in turn one. I got too high one time, and I kind of jumped the berm up there, and Brian got past me, and from there I was pretty much stuck in the third and second at the end.
I'll tell you, man, that 52 was on fire all night long. Your rotor is still glowing. Is this one of your better tracks? Is that what's going on here?
Typically it's not, so tonight it's kind of surprising, but I've been messing around with a few different settings in my wheels, and seems like it's working pretty good.
That's all. You always find that comfort level. Once you do, it's lights out for everybody. Jeff, anybody on the 52 you need to thank tonight?
Yeah, I think thank Travis, Zach, and Matt for inviting me to this league, and then everyone in this league who let me in, and just all the races here, and thank you for broadcasting the run. So it's fun times.
Absolutely, brother. Congratulations on the second place. We'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.
And that is Jeff Dillon, driver of the number 52. And that brings us to just one more guy to talk to. We're used to talking to him. We talk to him all the time. Last season's champion, Brian Hacker, in the number 11. Brian, this is Chris up in the booth. Do you got a copy?
Sure do. What's going on, Chris?
Well, brother, I'll tell you what. For a little while there, I wasn't so sure that you had what it was going to take to win tonight. And then, boom, all of a sudden you take the lead about 50 laps ago. Lap number 75, and it was lights out from there. But you had some cautions. You had all kinds of stuff kind of trying to work against you, including some damage to the right front. Why don't you take me through the race for you?
It's a tough track. I'm fast here, but I'm not really a fan of this track. It's hard to pass. It's hard to get around people. I think at the beginning of the race, I might have been a little faster than Dylan and Jeff there, but just no way around them. So I backed off a little bit, tried to save some tires, tried to cool my stuff off. Was hoping for a mistake, and luckily got a mistake out of both of them. And once I took the lead, I think really the key to the game was keeping the 52 out of bumper distance, and I think that was the only way he was going to be able to get around me. It's just so tough to pass here. So we were able to do that. There were a lot of cautions there at the end. My apologies for getting into the one car. I asked him to move down, and he was just trying to stay on the lead lap, so miscommunication. But all in all, good night.
It was a good night, and another race win here. That's going to definitely help you out in the point standings. I'll tell you, man, we've done this many times, and I can almost give you all the sponsors on the car, but who do you got to thank on the number 11 tonight?
Definitely, yeah. It seems to be checkers or wreckers so far this season, but as always, Beagle Freedom Project, they're on the car for every RFC race. Western Super Series on Tuesday nights on speed51.com. Check them out. Narrative Coffee. Richard Orr been a big supporter of mine here for a few years now, and then in order to be fast, you got to look fast. And Austin, Scott Austin at Austin Designs always gives me a good looking hot rod to ride around in. The RFC crew, you for doing it solo tonight. Big congratulations to Rick and his family. Pretty exciting reason to not be at the race. And Justin Riggsbee and Al Smith and the host of characters that put on this goofy race tonight.
Goofy is definitely it. Thompson always brings it out. Brian, I want to thank you once again, bud. Congratulations on that race win, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, man. I look forward to it too.
That is Brian Hacker, driver of the number 11, your race winner tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it. Again, one big congratulations going out to the Hammond family, Rick and Jody, bringing home their third baby here tonight. And that's a good reason to not be here. As Brian said, I really do appreciate everybody who came out here tonight. And we will see you again next time right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Thank you very much.